Hello and welcome to K News. This is Hardik Trivedi. Let's have a look on what is happening in India and in the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday said India will definitely get its economic growth back as the government continues to pursue various reforms. Speaking at Industry Association CII's annual session, he said the government has taken tough steps to fight the coronavirus pandemic and has also taken care of the economy. On the one hand, we have to save lives of our people, and on the other hand, we have to stabilize and speed up the economy. Yes, we will definitely get our growth back. He said he gets the confidence from farmers, small businesses and entrepreneurs for getting the economic growth back. Corona may have slowed our speed of growth, but India has now moved ahead from lockdown with the phase 1 unlock. Unlock phase 1 has reopened a large part of the economy. He said intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure and innovation are crucial for India to revert back to a high growth trajectory. For us, reforms are not any random or scattered decisions. For us, reforms are systematic, planned, integrated, interconnected and futuristic process. He further noted that for us reforms means courage to take decisions and taking them to logical conclusion. The authorities in the upscale New York City have imposed a curfew and ramped up police presence after violence and looting incidents were reported across the city amid widespread protest triggered by the custodial killing of African American George Floyd. Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio announced on Monday that the citywide curfew in New York City will begin at 11 p.m. on Monday and will be lifted at 5 p.m. Tuesday morning. They also announced that the New York City Police Department will double its presence, bringing nearly 8,000 police personnel to help prevent violence and damage to property. In angry response to the killing of Floyd, a 46-year-old man who was pinned to the ground in Minneapolis last week by a white police officer who kneeled on his neck as he gasped for breath. The additional officers will be deployed in areas where violence broke out and property was damaged during the previous night's protest, specifically in Lower Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn. Videos and photos posted on social media showed that while demonstrators protested peacefully around the most areas in the city, there were several instances of looting as well. People were seen breaking into high-end stores around Manhattan's Madison Avenue and Fifth Avenue, home to almost all luxury and high-end brands from around the world, and running away with merchandise from the shops. Group of people also looted pharmacies, electronics stores and other businesses across the city. Governor Cuomo said that the curfew was imposed is to help separate the overwhelming majority of peaceful protesters from people who are looking to exploit the moment by looting. New York City, they looted high-end stores with high-end merchandise. That wasn't a coincidence. There were people who knew what they are doing. Cuomo said while there are extremist groups that just want to propose archery, the majority of the people are making a very valid point that discrimination and abuse by police should finally end. The governor said in a statement that while the state authorities encourage people to protest peacefully and make their voices heard, the safety of the general public was paramount and cannot be compromised. Trump, who was taken to an underground bunker in the White House on Friday as protesters gathered outside the presidential residence, on Monday ventured outside the White House grounds to pose for photographs at a nearby church. The Chief Electoral Officer of Delhi on Monday advised people to visit the Election Commission website for important information pertaining to voter cards. after two incidents of cyber fraud were reported in the last month. The office of the CEO was informed about two incidents of cyber fraud in which unauthorized private websites were found offering voter ID card related services in exchange for money, the statement said. According to the website of Election Commission of India, no charges are required to be paid by the public while submitting online application related to voter ID card. CEO Office Delhi had requested DCP Election Delhi Police to lodge FIR and take necessary action against the offender at the earliest in both incidents. In one of the incidents, a 27-year-old man has been arrested from Rajasthan for allegedly cheating people on the pretext of making and renewing voter ID cards through a website. The accused is under judicial custody after 2 days of police custody. Interrogation revealed that the accused has been using the fake website for 6 to 7 months and has cheated around 5,000 people of nearly rupees 25 lakhs. In the second incident, investigation is underway. The public is therefore advised to visit ECI's official website or CEO Delhi's website or call voter helpline number for authentic and official information and prevent themselves from being cheated by the unscrupulous elements. Any such information available to displayed online must be verified from the official websites. Life returned to near normal in many parts of Gujarat, notably in Ahmedabad, the state's worst coronavirus hit district, as several restrictions were eased in the fifth phase of the lockdown that began on Monday. Roads bustle with traffic as people came out in large numbers to visit markets, which are now open till 7 p.m. in all areas except in containment and micro-containment zones. In Ahmedabad, the limited number of city buses began playing with 50% seating capacity to maintain social distancing, while auto rickshaws hit the roads for the first time in 10 weeks through the reduced number of passengers they have been permitted to ferry was a damper. We stayed home for 70 days. We are thankful to the government for allowing us to operate our auto rickshaws, but we have unfortunately not got any kind of financial support from the government. We are hardly getting any passengers now as we cannot carry people in shuttle system because only a limited number is allowed, said an auto rickshaw driver. A bus station in Ranip area of Ahmedabad saw people gathering since early morning to catch intra-state transport buses. Through the capacity was restricted and those boarding were first checked by the conductors holding temperature guns. The textile market in Surat, among the largest in the country, resumed business after it was sanitized earlier by civic authorities, with shops opening under an odd-even mechanism from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Work will begin only after transportation starts as a majority of materials go out of the market. We came here to check stock that had been lying unused for such a long time. Government offices opened on Monday with full staff strength, while the seizable numbers that came to the assembly complex in Gandhinagar were allowed to enter only after being screened with the thermal guns. The stock market's honeymoon with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government is under strain. In the first year of PM Modi's second term, India has erased more shareholder wealth than any other country on the planet, except Brexit-swayed Britain. That contrasts with the first term of 5 years, when his reputation as an economic reformer fueled an increase of almost 50% in equity market capitalization. Today, the economy as well as equity values are sinking. Economic growth slumped to an 11-year low even before the full onset of coronavirus, and Bloomberg Economic projects a 25% contraction in the 3 months through June. Stock values have shrunk by a quarter or 543 billion as India takes a bigger knock than some other countries badly affected by the pandemic, including the US, China and France. Investors remain concerned about the state of the economy and PM Modi's priorities. His focus has largely been on political issues such as citizenship bill, a ban on the triple talaq divorce practice among Muslims and revoking Kashmir's autonomy. There has been little success in boosting consumer demand or implementing reforms. Modi's investors surveys cut the country's credit rating to the lowest investment grade, citing chronic issues with growth and policy rather than temporary shocks. PM Modi swept to power in 2014 as citizens looked for a dynamic leader to revive the economy and reduced corruption. His first term was praised for several reform measures, including a new bankruptcy law. The feel-good environment was interrupted by his decision to demonetize high-value currency bills in late 2016 and a messy implementation of a uniform indirect tax system. As a result, stock value peaked in early 2018. AII told during PM Modi's 6 years in office, the country's equity markets added only 178 billion compared with the 1.06 trillion they amassed in the same period of his predecessor Manmohan Singh, which included the 2008 financial crisis. It's not that things have suddenly turned sour because of the coronavirus, though that there was a major shock. Indian companies have failed to meet earnings expectations since October 2014, months after PM Modi's ascent to power. Now they are missing forecast by 23% after reporting the biggest earnings miss in a decade earlier this year. Currency moves have offered little comfort to investors, while the rupee has been little changed in past year. Carry traders witnessed losses thanks to successive interest rate cuts. The country is gradually reopening its economy, but with more than 8,000 new cases per day, it risks a further spread of the pandemic. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
There's a Abdundi fan with the cooler number one. Eka change ko more fun, unte cooler number one. Eka don't run from the sun, unte Kenstar number one.
पहली नजर में हो गया मैं दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर जैसे कोई सपना सुहाना मैं दीवाना दीवाना
कचारिया टाइल्स, जो देखे वो दीवाना।
आकाश की सीमा है, उस सीमा से शुरू होता है कैनस्टार। कैनस्टार एक ऐसा ब्रांड जो 20 साल पहले लाया कूलर इंडस्ट्री में एक रेवोल्यूशन। एक ऐसा ब्रांड जिसने 50 लाख से ज्यादा कस्टमर्स की जिंदगी बदल दी। एक ऐसा ब्रांड जिसके 4 मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लांट्स और R&D सेंटर लाएंगे कूलिंग की अगली बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी। तो क्या है कैनस्टार की कोई सीमा? आइए आप और हम तोड़ें हर सीमा। आने वाला वक्त होगा और भी सुनहरा। फ्यूचर इज अस, फ्यूचर इज कैनस्टार।
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. At least 20 people were killed and several injured in a series of landslides in 3 districts of the Barak Valley region of Assam on Tuesday, officials said. Even as the state is grappling with floods, officials said at least 6 people in Karimganj district, 7 each in Chachar and Hajalkandi districts have died due to the landslide early on Tuesday, following incessant rainfall for the past few days. More details are awaited. At least 9 people have died in the deluge and lakhs of people in 7 districts of the states are affected in 356 villages of different districts who have been affected by floods. The floods have so far damaged crops in 2,600 hectares and affected over 44,000 domestic animals and over 9,000 poultry. A 22-year-old man in Uttar Pradesh, Pratapgarh district, 166 kilometers from the state capital Lucknow, was tied to a tree and burnt alive by his neighbors on Monday night. The neighbors in his village were reportedly angry over the man's alleged affair with a woman from their household. Reports from the area say a number of men barged into the man's house at night, dragged him out and tied him to a tree before setting him on fire. A police team that got the village after the incident was attacked. 2 vehicles and a motorcycle were set on fire and a few policemen were injured after being assaulted by a group of villagers who discovered the man's half-burnt body. The man who died, Ambika Prasad Patel, was reportedly in love with the woman for the last year. However, the woman's family was against this. Reports say he was selected as a constable with Uttar Pradesh Police a few months ago and had been posted in Kanpur. A few weeks ago, an intimate photos of the two of them was circulated on social media. The woman and her parents had blamed Ambika Patel for posting and circulating the photo on social media. A criminal case against Mr. Patel had been filed by the woman for allegedly trying to outrage her modesty. The same people, the neighbors, are now accused for burning him alive, said Abhishek Singh, Pratapgarh's police chief. Ambika Prasad Patel had gone to jail after this case was filed, but was released on parole on May 1. In March, the Uttar Pradesh government has decided to free 11,000 prisoners lodged in 71 jails in the state amid the coronavirus outbreak in the country. The police say 2 men accused of the crime have been arrested so far. One of them is girl's father. The half-burnt body of Mr. Patel has been sent for autopsy. There is heavy police presence in the village. Top scientists, health officials and the WHO on Monday rushed to counter claims made by a leading Italian doctor who said the new coronavirus no longer exists in the country. The row came as Italy prepared the next stage of its gradual easing of a national lockdown imposed 3 months ago to fight the spread of deadly virus. In reality, the virus clinically no longer exists in Italy, said Alberto Zangrillo, head of the San Raffaele Hospital in Milan. The swabs performed over the past 10 days have showed a viral load that is absolutely infinitesimal in quantitative terms compared to those carried out a month or 2 months ago, he said in an interview on RAI television on Sunday. Someone has to take responsibility for terrorizing the country, Zangrillo added. Milan is the capital of the northern region of Lombardy, which took the brunt of the pandemic in Italy. Several specialists in Italy that abroad were quick to object Zangrillo's remarks, and the WHO also stressed that the new coronavirus had not suddenly become less pathogenic. We need to be careful. This is still a killer virus, WHO Emergencies Director Michael Ryan told journalists. We need to be exceptionally careful not to create a sense that all of a sudden the virus by its own violation has now decided to be less pathogenic, said Ryan, who was a background in epidemiology. It is not the case at all. The head of Italy's National Health Council, Franco Locatelli, said he was baffled by Zangrillo's comments. It's enough to look at the numbers of new positive cases confirmed every day to see the persistent circulation in Italy of the new coronavirus. The director of the prestigious Spallanzani Infection Diseases Institute in Rome also said there was no scientific proof the virus had mutated or changed in potency. The S&P BSE Sensex and NSE Nifty 50 indexes rallied for fifth day in a row on Tuesday to end near 3 months highs, powered by buying interest in banking and financial services shares. The benchmark opened on a flat note but gained strength in non-deals as heavyweights such as HDFC, Kotak Mahindra, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank and Reliance Industries witnessed buying interest. The Sensex rose as much as 563 points and Nifty 50 index touched an intraday high of 9,996. The Sensex ended 522 points or 1.57% higher at 33,825 and Nifty 50 index surged 153 points or 1.56% to close at 9,979. Buying in HDFC, Kotak Mahindra, ICICI Bank, HDFC and Reliance Industries contributed nearly 400 points towards gain in the Sensex. All sector gauges bearing the index of FMCG shares ended higher, led by the Nifty Realty Index's 5% gain. Nifty Private Bank, Financial Services, Bank and Media sector gauges also rose 2.9 to 3.2% each. Mid and small cap shares also witnessed buying interest as the Nifty Mid Cap 100 Index rose 1.36% and Nifty Small Cap 100 Index advanced 2.36%. Bajaj Finserv was top Nifty gainer. The stock rose 9.5% to close at Rs 5,216. Zee Entertainment, Bajaj Finance, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Tata Motors, IndusInd Bank, GAIL India, HDFC, Axis Bank, Power Grid, Adani Ports and Vedanta also rose 3 to 9% each. On the flip side, Coal India, Maruti Suzuki, Bharat Petroleum, ITC, Dr. Reddy's Lab, NTPC, Nestle India, JSW Steel and Hindustan Unilever were among the losers. The overall market breadth was extremely positive as 1,700 shares closed higher while 727 ended lower on the BSE. Describing the ongoing lockdown to contain the spread of coronavirus across the country as unplanned and hasty decision, AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi on Tuesday said states have to be authorized to take decisions on whether to continue it or not, slamming the BJP-led government at the center as being responsible for the plight of migrant laborers. The Hyderabad MP said the guest workers should have been allowed back home in March last week when the COVID-19 cases were less in number and the virus was less virulent. I have been consistently criticizing the lockdown because it is unconstitutional. If you read the constitution under the states list, the states are responsible for law and order. The government of India and the Modi government violate the 7th schedule of the constitution. They cannot use the National Disaster Management Act to dictate to the state governments. It is very unfortunate why the chief ministers accept this unconstitutional dictate of the Modi government, Owaisi told reporters. He said officials sitting in the national capital do not know what is good or bad for the states. It is for the states to decide when the lockdown should be implemented, when it should be lifted, what should be closed and what should not. An officer sitting in South Block or North Block will not know what is happening in Hyderabad, what is good for Telangana and what is not. The AIMIM leader alleged that because of the unplanned decision of the Modi government, the economy was doldrums. On the standoff between India and Chinese troops in the Pangong TSO area in eastern Ladakh, the MP questioned the silence of the government on the matter and demanded that it take the country into confidence. On behalf of the government of India, there was a statement from the defense minister that they are engaged in a dialogue with China. We want to ask what you are talking about with them. The country into confidence, the OVC demanded. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.